Hey everybody, it's Avi Tenenbaum with Torah for Real People, and we're going to soon see a very special, exclusive video from Rav Asher Weiss Shlita made for the people that are watching Torah for Real People and their friends, all about Pesach, how to approach Pesach and find hope. A lot of the people that come to this channel are struggling. They have poverty issues, mental health issues, physical issues, familial issues. They have chinuch struggles with their children, whatever it is, a combination of those, other things. People are really struggling and going through a hard time. And I asked the Rav to make us a beautiful short video with hope about how to approach Pesach, because the Rav has always been a guiding light. I speak to him constantly about people going through very difficult situations, and the Rav has always been an amazing resource of knowing the Torah on the highest level, knowing what real people go through, blending that together and being a light for Klal Yisrael. So we'll see that shortly. I want to make introductory remarks from Reb Shlomo Volbe and from Reb Nosson of Breslov. On this channel, we like to take from all types of tzaddikim and offer so that there's something for everybody. And all of this stuff was all given to us at Har Sinai. There's not one Torah we learn and we exclude all the rest. So let's look in Ruach Shlomo, Reb Shlomo Volbe on page 185 and 186 in this section. He talks here about there's a very important step of redemption that when we talk about Pesach, we often forget. Yes, the Jews were physically enslaved, and yes, they got out of Egypt, and thank God for that. Otherwise, we'd still be there. We all know that. There was a mental redemption that happens before the physical redemption. And if you are involved in helping other people who are abused, for example, or if you yourself were abused and you got out of that situation, then you will know and relate to this idea. You know that when people are downtrodden and abused and gaslighted and mistreated, we stop thinking for ourselves. We stop taking care of ourselves. We stop thinking there's even a possibility of getting out of this situation. And we have what's called in this farm restricted consciousness, small-mindedness. You're just doing the daily grind. You're afraid to get hurt. You're doing as you're told. You're checking in and checking out, and there's nothing else. There's no hope. There's no enjoyment. There's no future. There's only this moment now in a negative sense, and that's it. And one of the first steps of helping a person who is broken, who is small-minded, who is abused and gaslighted, their mind has been kidnapped, and we have to give them their mind back. If you ever helped a person break free from their home and they were in a dangerous situation, let's say they would be beaten up, one of the first things you have to do is encourage the person, give them tremendous chizuk, give them strength, give them a sense of support, give them a plan of where they can go to, and hand their dignity back to them, hand their agency back to them so that they say, I'm an individual person. I have my own needs. I exist as an independent entity, and since that's true, I can now start to think about what's good for me, and then I can go take care of myself and be safe. So there's this idea of Geulas Hanefesh that we say in Lechadodi that Rav Volbe quotes, Karva el nafshi ge'ala. Right? The Iker Geula, the main redemption, is the nefesh. It's the soul. It's the mind. And then after that, we have the redemption, the physical redemption of leaving Egypt, leaving the broken home, whatever the situation is. And so Rav Volbe says, Makas Bechoros, the 10th plague, when the firstborn died, that was the real initial redemption, that the Jews had a redemption in their mind. They suddenly became from slaves to independent people. They became people that now were dedicated to Hashem, and they had expanded consciousness. They had hope. They saw a better future, and they saw themselves as bigger, greater people, and now they were able to move towards that possibility. But it wasn't a possibility before then. And that was the Geulas Hanefesh, which then eventually became Geulas Haguf, and they were able to get out their bodies and their schedules and their time from Egypt to leave the country, leave the shibud and all that. But it all started with Geulas Hanefesh and that idea of getting close to Hashem and seeing the true optimal greatness of who you can become, understanding and seeing that possibility and moving towards that possibility. That's what Reb Volbe says. It is a beautiful piece. You can check it out here. Reb Nosson of Breslov in Makuti Halachos Shachris Beis, he says there, a beautiful piece about Pesach. And if you learn about Pesach for many years, you see all this jargon and all these ideas, and you're not quite sure how they all fit together, but they really all parallel. I'm not going to say what Reb Nosson says, but I'm just going to say a bunch of terms that he quotes that they all parallel so beautifully. The idea of matzah is paralleled and correlated to cherus, freedom, da'as, expanded consciousness, mochen de gadlus. Mochen de gadlus is really expanded consciousness. Da'as is applied knowledge. It's something that you know, but now you know it deeply in an applied, thorough fashion. Hashkacha. What's hashkacha? Is when there's chaos going on, there's disorder, and then God picks you out of the whole mess and helps you and carries you. He picks you up and holds you and arranges things for you exactly tailored to how you need. So you have matzah, you have das, mochen de gadlus, hashkacha, cherus. And then we have the idea of chipazon, leaving Egypt b'chipazon. What's that idea? It's a number of other positive things. The idea of suddenly leaving a hopeless situation that you think there was no way out. It's namayla me'azman. Zman is, you're not going to get out of Egypt for another who knows how many years, right? Because they thought they would be there for 400 years. They ended up leaving earlier. You didn't think you would ever get out. You didn't think it would look this way. Bam, you get out b'chipazon. Suddenly, things change. The rules that operate the regular world, the teva, change, and now you're l'mayla me'ateva, you're l'mayla me'azman. You get out of your hopeless situation, you get out of Mitzrayim, b'chipazon. And then there's something called zikaron. What's zikaron? He brings this idea as well that this is also correlated. Zikaron is the idea of there's something true and it's important and you remember it and you hold it in front of you and you move towards it. That's this idea again of hope. That's this idea of possibility. That's this idea of God telling Avraham Avinu, your children are going to be in Egypt, but then they're going to get out and things are going to be amazing. Zikaron, right? There's the idea of zrizus, moving fast, moving quickly. You move quickly if you have a reason to move fast, if you have faith, if you see something before you that motivates you, right? What's the opposite of chipazon? The opposite of chipazon is atzlos, shena, tardema, shikcha, Zman, Chometz, Kfira, Kushya, Teva, Shibud, Dinim, right? All these ideas where here you are, you're stuck, there's no hope, there's nobody taking care of you and looking after you, there's no way out of this. Here you are and here you are to stay, and there's no greater thing to look towards, and there's no opportunity, and there's no possibility, and there's no faith in anything bigger than yourself. And you're just bound by nature, and you're bound by time, and you're bound by your pathetic weaknesses and failures and history, and you just are never going to get anywhere and never do anything. That's where most of us find ourselves all year round. And that's why we need a Pesach, and we need a God, and we need a Moshe Rabbeinu, and we need the Esar Makos and the Kriyas Yamsuf and the lessons of Pesach to get out of it. Without any further ado, I'm going to now introduce some powerful words from Rav Asher Weiss Shlita that we'll take with us to go through Pesach. We will find experience, hope, and strength, move towards a greater possibility, find a Kadosh Baruch Hu, find ideal selves, find faith, find a possibility, create the possibility towards a better future, and move towards it. Have a beautiful, happy Pesach, everybody watching. Please share this with people that will get chizuk, especially people going through difficult things the whole year round, and we should be zeicha to a Geulas Hanefesh b'mhira v'imenu. Amen.
This is a message to my dear friends world over. Miktzei olam v'ad kitzeu. We are approaching Pesach. And Pesach is so fundamental to who we are as a nation, as individuals. Pesach is man cheruseinu. B'yetzias Mitzrayim, we were transformed from individuals to a nation, to a people. But Pesach is also the Yom Tov of hope. And so many people today are struggling with so many different problems and issues. Health issues, financial troubles, family challenges. And when Pesach comes, we just need to stop and think a moment. How did the Jews feel? Our forefathers fleeing the enemy, standing at the sea, the raging sea on one hand, and a mighty army coming closer and closer every moment. They felt hopeless, they felt helpless. They cried out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered their prayers. And they were salvaged and saved in the most miraculous way. Try to imagine how they felt. Some of them felt totally doomed. This is the end. Others probably felt we could fight them, and maybe we will be victorious. Nobody could imagine, nobody could dream what will actually happen. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu will split the sea, and they will just have a stroll to the other side. So many times in our personal lives, each and every one of us is confronted with problems that we just can't imagine. We can't imagine what will it be? How will we solve these problems, and how will we prevail? You lift your eyes to the heavens, just like our forefathers did in these very same days. You lift your eyes to the heavens and just daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and He will make it work. So my brachas to all of you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give you simcha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give you nachas, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give you sefer. And we should once again be zeicha as a people, as a nation. Ki ameitzeitchem me'eretz Mitzrayim arenu neflois. We should be zeicha to see Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mheiro v'yomeinu. Amen.